Oditecho Jivomina. So in the song, basically, Bhaktivinoda Thakur compares the living entity with a small fish. So Jivamina is comparing with a fish. But unfortunately, fish can enjoy the waters of a river or sea or ocean. But if it becomes attracted to unwanted things, it will be get caught in the net. So that's the main meaning. So because we have the desire to enjoy, so that's how we got the Bhogash, we get caught here. But by performing bhakti, we will be released. And then we can swim in the ocean of Krishna Prem. So that's the main theme of this song. Arke no maya jale odite cho jivo mina nahi jano baddha hoi robe tumi chiro dina nahi jano baddha hoi robe tumi chiro dina अति तुच्छ भोगाशे बंधे होए माया पाशे रोहिलो विकृता भावे दंड्यायता पराधीना एको न बकाती बले कृष्ण प्रेमा सिंधु जाले क्रीड़ा कोरियानायसे ताको तुमी कृष्णाधीना क्रीड़ा कोरियानायसे ताको तुमी कृष्णाधीना आर्के नो माया जाले ओडिते चो जीवो मीना. So he's saying that our living entity, like fish, is addressing Arkenu Maya Jale. So because of that, he caught up from long, Chirodina, you are caught up in this material world. Because we have Atitucha Bhoga Ashe Bandi Hoye Maya Pasha. We had the desire to enjoy. So we get caught in this Maya Jal. So because of that, Rohilo Vikruta Bhave, Prakriti and Vikruti, or Prakriti is to serve the Lord, Purusha. We are all Prakriti and Purusha is the Supreme Lord. So our Prakriti, we became Vikruti. So because staying in this Vikruti Bhav, Rohile Vikruti Bhave, Dandyayata Paradhin, we are Paradhin ho gaye, Maya ka Paradhin, Adhin ho gaye hum. Dandya, because we are punished like that. But Ekono Bhakti Bale, by performing Bhakti, definitely we can again swim in the ocean of Krishna Prem Sindhu Jale. Again we transfer ourselves from Mayadhin to Krishnadhin. So by that we will be enjoying our real glory again. So that's a beautiful song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yes, about the living entity's current position, and if he performs bhakti, then he can again situate in a spiritual position. Okay, that's the. Okay, we'll start our session where we left yesterday. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् सा अद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सह गणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So let us see the summary once again. Maybe 2 sections, then we'll go through one. Can someone read?
Verses 1 to 8, Jiva versus Supreme Lord. Sri Shukadev Goswami explains that due to ignorance, the conditioned soul is engaged in the temporary varieties of material forms. But the Supreme Lord is always possessed of an eternal form of knowledge and bliss. Shukadev Goswami cites Lord Brahma's example to show that one can understand this difference by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Lord Brahma heard the words tapa, tapa, immediately recognized them as the instruction of the Lord, and sat down on his lotus seat to engage in tapasya for 1000 celestial years. Verses 9 to 30. The Lord, being thus very much satisfied with the penance of Lord Brahma, manifests his personal abode Vaikuntha. The Lord then confirms that it was he himself who had previously ordered Brahma to undergo penance, and that penance is his heart and soul. Lord Brahma asks 4 questions, 26 to 29, so that he may act instrumentally to generate living entities, without being conditioned by such activities, nor victimized by pride.
Yeah, so thank you. So yesterday we have seen how from the verse 1 to 4 exclusively focused on first question about how living entity get caught in this material body, Bhautika Deha. How the supreme, not supreme, but the Jiva conscious, the pure conscious Jiva came in contact with the material energy, are conditioned by material energy of the Lord. So the example of dream is discussed, and then started our section where Brahmaji doing tapasya by hearing the words tapa and tapa. After that, the Lord started revealing the by pleased with his tapasya. So Lord is very much pleased by tapasya of anyone, especially who is practicing Bhakti Yoga. So Brahmaji also did great tapasya, 1000 celestial years he did, and then the Lord revealed the spiritual abode. So this is the second question in the answering the second question, difference between Jiva and the Supreme Lord. So this whole series is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Yeah, we will see currently we are in 11th verse. But I'll just explain about the 10th verse. Yesterday there was a question about Surarchita, Surarchita. Yeah, here of course the translation as in our Prabhupada book, it mentions without discrimination both the demigods and demons worship the Lord as a devotees. So it is mainly explained by Acharyas, especially Jiva Swami, that here Anuvartita, this Anuvartita devotees. So the devotees are worshipped by Sura and Asura of this world. So that's how the explanation given by Jiva Swami. Of course, sometimes some different of presentation will be seen in our text and with acharyas. There could be many reasons, some typing errors or some translation, because Prabhupada used to dictate in dictaphone, and then there is a whole process of transcribing and then editing, then proofreading, printing. So there may be some errors here and there. Sometimes it is seen in the Bhagavatam printing or Gita printing. Of course, they are very much editing whatever is not up to the mark. You also might have known in Gita also some sentences are edited, especially the famous Pitruloka. So they translated as a tree of planets. Sorry, planet of trees. So Pitruloka means there is a loka where trees are only existing. Planet of trees. We don't hear like that. So like that sometimes it may be some errors may be there. So here what it is explaining, without discrimination, both demigods and demons worship the Lord as devotees. So first thing is in Vaikuntha, the whole context is a description of Vaikuntha. So there is no question of existence of demons in Vaikuntha, because the demigods, even demigods also, demigods are mainly in Sattva Guna, and demons are having Rajo and Tamo Guna. That's the main characteristic. So that's why even in this verse also it is said that the personal abode of the Lord is not tinged by even the mode of goodness. What to speak of passion and ignorance. Rajastama. Pravarte yatra rajastamaotayo sattvam cha mishram na. So it is there is no question of any modes there in the Vaikuntha. So how can demons existing there? So that's how it's explained that the people in the world of this world, they worship, or rather the devotees of the Lord who are in Vaikuntha, who are as good as the Supreme Lord, in the sense that Sachidananda, they also have Sachidananda beyond the modes of nature. They are worshipable by all these people, Suras, Asuras, and even devotees also. So that's how the explanation is given by, especially Jiva Goswami explains that one. Maybe I'll just share the document and we will continue. So Suras are mainly Sattva Guna Prabhava. So this is the commentary. So Sura Sattva Prabhava. Sura means those who are Prabhava. Prabhava means they are very prominent. Sura means Sattva Prabhava. Their mode of goodness is prominent. Asura means Rajastama Prabhava. So they are dominated by Rajantama. So these are all, where they exist. And they will exist here only in the material world. Suras may be in the heavenly planets. And Asura Swabhava, definitely they are also in heavenly planets. Some are. But mainly the condition is about the modes. What is the predominating mode? So that defines the personality. So they Architaha, by them Architaha, who are worshipped, the devotees. Hare Anuvartita. So Anuvartita there it explains that devotees of the Lord. Hare Anuvartita. Tebhyo Arhatama Ityartha. Means they are worshipable by Suras and Asuras. Arhatama Ityartha. Why? Because Gunati Tatvat Eveti. Because they are beyond gunas. Who? The devotees. even in the devotees who are in the Vaikuntha Loka, because only by crossing the modes only one can enter into Vaikuntha Loka. So because Gunatitatvat eva iti bhava. So because they are beyond the gunas, that's why they are in Vaikuntha, and that's why they are worshipable by those who are having predominantly the mode of goodness, suras, and asuras also. They the devotees in Vaikuntha are worshipable by these people, suras, arasuras, and even devotees also. So that's how the explanation is given. Okay, we'll continue. So when Lord revealing the Vaikuntha, so now Sukadeva Goswami is explaining different aspects of Vaikuntha. Now here the Vaikuntha atmosphere is explained, and the devotees are explained in this verse. So we have seen yesterday. So how there is no any question of modes present in the Vaikuntha Loka. And today's we will continue with this Vaikuntha topic. Shama Vadata Shatapatra Lochana Vishangavatra Surucha Supeshashaha Sarve Chaturbaha Unmishanmani Pravekanishka Parana Suvarchasaha. Please read.
The inhabitants of the Vaikuntha planets are described as having a glowing sky bluish complexion. Their eyes resemble lotus flowers, their dress is of yellowish color, and their bodily features are very attractive. They are just the age of growing youths. They all have 4 hands. They are all nicely decorated with pearl necklaces with ornamental medallions, medallions, and they all appear to be effulgent.
Yeah. So here the inhabitants are described. So you can mute yourself. So yeah, because of the devotional austerities of Brahma, Lord is so much pleased, and he revealed his own form. At the same time, he is revealing his own abode. So to show the distinction between the Jiva and the Supreme Lord, as asked by, of course, Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami to explain. So Sukadeva Goswami is quoting the version of Lord Brahma and Supreme Lord conversation, wherein it is clear that there is a great distinction between Jiva and Supreme Lord. So that distinctions are seen in terms of various things. So here the spiritual world is revealed. What is the nature of the spiritual world? In that here inhabitants are explained. So the inhabitants are having these beautiful forms, the eyes and their features are explained in this verse. And Prabhupada mainly focuses on explanation of this one. Please read the underlined portion.
The inhabitants in Vaikuntha are all personalities with spiritual body features not to be found in the material world.
Yeah. So these are all, especially he says, for example, 4 hands are distinct from the 2 hands in this world, especially in Vaikuntha. 4 hands are very much prominent. So that's how these distinctions are explained in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, the whole spiritual world, as we hear from Srila Prabhupada also, is exactly like a reflection, as we read in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 1st verse. Adashodam Prastutasya Shaka. So it's like a more of a reflection of the real world. Adasya Mulan Anusantani. So these are all reflection. It's like a reflection. So almost it's a how we are going through here, how we have different details in this world. There are so many details in spiritual world also. There are people, there are houses, and there are lakes, so many things. Exactly like that. But there is a great difference in terms of how they operate, how functions happen there. They are entirely different. So we will see what is the some more details and what mainly drives them are given. Text 12, continuing our section. Pravala Vaidurya Mrunala Varchasaha Parispurat Kundala Mauli Malinaha. Please read. Hare Krishna.
Some of them are effulgent like coral and diamonds in complexion and have garlands on their heads, blooming like lotus flowers, and some wear earrings.
So some more descriptions about what are all they are wearing. They are not wearing plastic, they are not wearing any kind of rolled golds. So effulgent and so natural, their bodily complexion. Navayavan, everyone will be fresh youth because that's the nature of the soul. It's always fresh. So that's the nature of the spiritual world. Okay. Brajishnudhirya parito virajate lasat vimanavaliभीर महात्मनां विद्योतमाना प्रमदोत्तमाद्युभिः सविद्युत् अभ्रावलिभिर्यथा नभः.
The Vaikuntha planets are also surrounded by various airplanes, all glowing and brilliantly situated. These airplanes belong to the great Mahatmas or devotees of the Lord. The ladies are as beautiful as lightning because of their celestial complexions, and all this combined together appear just like the sky decorated with both clouds and lightning.
Yeah. So the nature of the feminine beauty is explained here. And the previous verse explains about men, how they were having so many wonderful ornaments. Please read this one.
As there are airplanes, ladies and gentlemen, so there must be cities and houses and everything else just suitable to the particular planets. One should not carry the ideas of imperfection from this world to the transcendental world and not take into consideration the nature of the atmosphere, which is completely free from the influence of time, etc., as described previously.
So we generally, our consciousness cannot comprehend what is exactly beyond the modes, because we are thinking within the modes. It's quite difficult to comprehend what exactly is behind beyond the time, beyond the modes. We may not be able to comprehend, but definitely there are people, there are devotees, there are acharyas who cross these modes and who are able to perceive, who are able to achieve the abode. And also the scriptures themselves present the abode of the nature of the abode, and the nature of the personality is there. So based on Shastra, based on the faith in the acharyas, we accept them. And we perceive in the course of time by purification of the consciousness. Just like, let us suppose there is a department, in a company there is a department, IT department, consider IT department, either in company or in a college or in a wherever. The IT department has a particular control over all the information. So in the IT department itself, there are different grades of people who will have different access to the information. So even let us suppose take the Google. So at different grades, people have different access to the information that contained. So as we grow up in the scale or the post, so the the accessibility of the information is given more and more. So as we take more and more responsibility in the post, upgrading ourselves, or we are posted in a higher position, then you will given more and more access to the information of the company. So similarly, so the more we evolve in consciousness, the more accessibility we can have, the more it will be revealed by Krishna. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamapayanti te tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayamyatma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. So he will reveal jnana deepena bhashvata. So those who are engaged in his devotional service, things are revealed gradually. Just like in our life also, see, just observe from childhood to boyhood, boyhood to youth, youth to adults. So the consciousness is gradually evolving even in this life, right? What we like in the childhood, I mean, every children like to have some toys which makes a lot of sound, a lot of light, a lot of what is a movement. Anything that is moving or giving light or making sound, it becomes very attractive to the child. They're very much attracted. So, but after growing, after coming to boyhood, then those things which made us very much amazed, they are nothing. They don't even attract. What to speak of becoming attached to them. So, I mean, nothing attracts what the children like. So similarly, the evaluation of the consciousness, the more it evolves, so things are revealed more and more. The true nature is revealed more and more. So that's why Prabhupada is mentioning here, one should not carry the ideas of imperfection. So can you say what exactly is the difference? There also, there ladies are there, gentlemen are there, airplanes are there, houses are there, cities are there, roads, many other things, same as here. And what is the difference? What is the difference, please? Yes, yes, Prabhu. Ramkishore Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. So the main difference is everything is utilized for the service of Krishna, while
Hmm.
here everything is utilized for the service of the senses and personal desires.
Very good. Yes, Mataji. So, Lakshmi Mata.
The inhabitants are above the three modes.
Inhabitants are above the three modes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Beyond three modes. And the main motive is to please Krishna, not pleasing my own senses. Anything else? Only these two differences. What else could be the differences? Here and there.
They don't have any miseries, Prabhuji.
The fourfold miseries that we explained. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshana darshanam. Fourfold miseries will be absent. There are threefold miseries. Adhyatmika, Aditaivika, Adi Bhautika kleshas will be absent. Yes. Yeah. So all these imperfections are absent. So in the spiritual world. Yeah. And also, if you see the influence of time, what Prabhupada is speaking here, time will be there. Because when you say cities, houses, and airplanes and everything, and Ashtakaliya Leela, where we hear about Krishna is performing at different times, morning, afternoon, evening, even in Vaikuntha also. So there is a time, but what is the difference between this time and that time? What is the difference? Anyone?
It doesn't have devastating effect. Like
Yeah.
here, time gets like there is effect of time on everyone, but there it is conspicuously absent. Something Prabhupada says like that.
Correct, correct. Conspicuous by its absence. Means it's obvious. Correct. It's obvious by its absence. Yeah, the time influence of time. Time is basically here. have the destructive potency or destructive effect, especially in this material world. Time has that element. Means that I was at the age of 10, now I am at the age of, let us suppose, 35, 40, 45. So there is something is gradually coming down in the body or in the material world, everything. There is a destructive element is inbuilt here. So there it's not at all the time is present, but there is no destructive effect is there. Rather, it increases the special effects in terms of making the pastimes more and more charming and beautiful and very enlivening. So that's the effect of time. Yeah. All the different energies also we will see here. Prabhupada also explains all the energies are also present there, but in terms of personalities. Okay, we'll continue. Text 14. Shriryatra rupenyurugaya padayo karoti manam bahuda vibhutibihi prenkam shritaya kusuma karangurai vigiyamana priyakarma gayati. Please read. Please read.
The goddess of fortune, in her transcendental form, is engaged in the loving service of the Lord's lotus feet. And being moved by the black bees, followers of spring, she is not only engaged in variegated pleasure, service to the Lord, along with her constant companions, but is also engaged in singing the glories of Lord's activities.
So here till now the Vaikuntha atmosphere is explained, and the inhabitants were explained, both ladies and gentlemen, as Prabhupada explains, in airplanes. Now the queen of the Vaikuntha, the goddess of fortune, is explained in this verse. And next verse is more a description about planet again. Dadarsha tatra kila satvatam patim Shriyah patim yajnapatim jagatpatim sunandananda prabalarhanadibihi swapashadangrai parisevitam vibhum. Yeah, how the Lord is served by all these devotees. Yes, please read.
Lord Brahma saw in the Vaikuntha planets the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of the entire devotee community, the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the Lord of the universe, and who is served by the foremost servitors like Nanda, Sunanda, Prabal, and Arhana, his immediate associates. Description of Vaikuntha.
Yeah. So here, after describing about our Mother Lakshmi, the Supreme Father is explained how the Supreme Lord and the servitors. Yeah, please read the highlight portion.
When we speak of a king, it is naturally understood that the king is accompanied by his confidential associates like his secretary, private secretary, aide-de-camp, ministers, and advisors. So also when we see the Lord, we see him with his different energies, associates, confidential servitors, etc.
So Prabhupada also explains, I think in an Anvadi, when you say king doesn't mean he's always alone. No, king means he has his own entourage. Whole entourage is seen with king. Ministers, soldiers, advisors. So everyone is included. So there in Vaikuntha, all devotees are present at different levels. Though everyone is same in the sense they are qualitatively all are Sachidananda Swarupa, but only to please Lord, they take up different roles. They take up different forms. So by that, they always try to please the Lord by their own activities, by their own way of behaviors. Whatever they do, it's only to please the Lord. So that's how Vaikuntha is explained. Okay, next. Bhritya prasadabhimukam drik asavam prasannaha Kireetanam kundalinam chaturbhujam Pitam shukam vakshasi lakshitam shriya. Is it?
The personality of Godhead, seen living favorably towards his loving servitors, is very sight intoxicating and attractive, appeared to be very much satisfied. He had a smiling face decorated with an enchanting reddish hue. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore a earrings and a helmet on his head. He had 4 hands and his chest was marked with the lines of the goddess of fortune.
Yes. So more explanation about Supreme Lord. Please read the highlight portion.
In the Yoga Pitaha, the personifications of religion, knowledge, opulence, and renunciation are all seated at the lotus feet of the Lord. The 4 Vedas, namely Rigveda, Samveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvaveda, are present there personally to advise the Lord.
So these are all personalities. All these personalities who are representing all these Vedas in this world, but they are personalities in the Vaikuntha. Even Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, they're all personalities. So they're all personalities who are serving the Lord in the Vaikuntha is explained. Even the doorkeepers, Prabhupada explains, and there are different names of the doorkeepers that are present. I mean, so the Lord Palace is well decorated and protected by the above mentioned doorkeepers. So though when you say protected can mean if there is no, we keep all kinds of big gates and big locks for protection, right, from enemies. In the night, some enemy can come and loot our booty, loot our house or bank or anything, any building. So that's why they protect with big gates and securities and etc. But why Vaikuntha has to have that one? Because there are no enemies. When there are no enemies, then what is the need of all these arrangements? That protection is not just to protect from enemies. It's just to increase the pleasure of the Lord in terms of serving in that way, like king. Especially in Vaikuntha, the awe and reverence is extremely high. So they treat the Supreme Lord as a king. When he's coming out, when he's going in, when he's doing all activities, there are so many things which are being done. More explanation about Vaikuntha, if someone is more interested, he can read Bhagavad Bhagavatamrit, where Sanatana Goswami explains in detail about what exactly is. Detail in the sense he explains little more elaborately how personalities, what they do, how this personality is really pleasing to Vishnu. So these are all explained little more in detail because we don't have much access to spiritual world because neither we nor anyone around us have that kind of experiences. But definitely Acharyas has that experience and revelations. They can write about the spiritual world. And definitely some things are given in Puranas, definitely. So that are quoted by our Acharyas, some slokas. So by that slokas only Prabhupada here almost he is translating all the slokas which are found in Padma Puran about the Vaikuntha, which are quoted by Acharyas in their commentaries. Okay. Next. Adyarhaniya Adyarhaniyasanam astitam param Vritam chatushodasa pancha shaktibihi Yuktam bhagai swaye itaratra chatruvaih Swaye vadhaman Ramamanamishwaram. Is it?
Hare Krishna. The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies, namely the four, the 16 and the 5, and he was endowed with his six natural appearances, along with other insignificant energies of the temporary character. But he was the factual Supreme Lord enjoying his own abode.
So here, Vaikuntha, different energies are explained, how energies are also serving. Though verse is saying in a cryptic way, 4, 16, 5, all these energies are serving the 6 natural appliances. What are these 4, 16 and 5? Acharyas explain, and Prabhupada is also elaborating on these things. Please read.
All these 25 elements serve the Lord in the material creation, and all of them are personally present in Vaikuntha to serve the Lord there. The insignificant appearances numbering 8, Ashtasiddhis attained by yogis for temporary or lordship are also under his control. But he is naturally full with all such powers without any effort, and therefore he is the Supreme Lord.
So 25 elements, we know that all these, of course, 4 he explained, Prabhupada explains. The 4 are Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatma, and Ego. These are 4. And the 16 are 5 gross elements, 5 sense organs, and active senses, and knowledge acquiring senses. So including the mind, they are 16. And also he served by 5, which includes the Tanmatras, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. All these are also, they are in the sense they are the personalities who are the Adhish, they are the who are controlling, they are serving the Lord. It's not that they are, in terms of these organs serving, but they are personalities who are predominating deities, the personalities who are serving the Lord. Means that he is served by all. He is the king. The Supreme Lord is the master and controller and enjoyer of everything, because all are his energies only. Energies are meant for service of the owner, right? All whatever one has in his control, they are all meant to serve him, the personality who possesses. Let us suppose we have our energies in terms of our house or the paraphernalia, TV, fridge, car. These are all energies. So they are all meant to serve the owner of the house. So similarly, all the energies of the Lord are meant to serve the Lord. So that's how they are fully engaged and satisfied and pleased and very much happy to serve the Lord. Text 18. Taddarshanahlada pariplutoantaro Srishyat Kanu Prema Bharashrulochanaha Anamapadam Bujamascha Vishwasrik Yat Paramhamsyena Padhadikamyate. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. Lord Brahma, thus seeing the personality of Godhead in his fullness, was overwhelmed with joy within his heart, and thus in full transcendental love and ecstasy, his eyes filled with tears of love. He thus bowed down before the Lord. That is the way of the highest perfection for the living being, Paramhamsas.
So now, after this is all revealed by the Lord, the whole spiritual abode, the details, how different inhabitants are existing, different atmosphere is existing, Mother Lakshmi, and the personality of Lord himself. After explaining, then Lord Brahma saw all this, then overwhelmed with joy. The reaction is explained here, how Brahma reacted. He just bowed down to the Lord. In ecstasy, he bowed down before the Lord. So that's how the Paramahamsas behave. Now, please read.
Yes. Unfortunately, persons with impious background do not believe in the personality of Godhead, and everyone wants to become a God himself without any qualification. This malicious nature in the conditioned soul continue even up to the stage when a person wants to be one with the Lord, and the even greatest of the empiric philosophers speculating on becoming one with the Supreme Lord cannot become Paramahamsa because the malicious mind is there. Therefore, the Paramahamsa stage of life can be attained only by those who are fixed in the practice of Bhakti Yoga.
After Prabhupada explaining about the nature of the pious people or the devotees who bow down to the Lord, bow down to his abode, bow down to his personality. But on the opposite, those personalities, impious personalities, or even up to the personalities who want to become one with Lord, they will not give respect, bow down, or even regard to the personality of the Lord. So that is explained here. Then Prabhupada explains about Paramahamsa, because verse explains about Paramahamsa people, they always bow down to the Lord. They always follow in the path of the Lord. So that is explained. How to become a Paramahamsa. Prabhupada explains here. Please read.
This Bhakti Yoga being it a person begins if a person has the firm conviction that simply discharging devotional service to the Lord in full transcendental love can elevate him to the highest perfectional stage of life. Brahmaji believed in this art of Bhakti Yoga. He believed in the instructions of the Lord to execute tapa, and he discharged the function with great penance and thus achieved the great success of seeing the Vaikunthas and the Lord also by personal experience.
So, how to become Paramahamsa? We need to have firm conviction in what we are practicing. We read from, you definitely heard many times as well, we have 9 processes of devotional service and 9 stages of devotional service. So, as we are practicing 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, we go through 9 stages of devotional service, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, etc. So that the firm conviction, the Shraddha, as we grow ahead in the different stages, the Shraddha becomes firm and firm, more and more strong. The person who is on the level of Anadhani Vritti or Nishtha has a great strong faith, then who is just starting coming to in touch with devotees, just chanting Hare Krishna 1 or 2 rounds. So they have little fragile faith, a little weak faith, than the person who is little more advanced. So the firm conviction has to become more and more firm and strong. That's how we become a Paramahamsa. That's the main Prabhupada explains here. That's how we need to practice Bhakti Yoga with firm conviction in order to have personal experience. Please read.
Following the footsteps of Lord Brahma, any person, even up to this day, can attain the same perfection by following the path of Paramahamsa as recommended here. One does not need to be in the... Shall I continue, Prabhu?
Yeah, please. Continue.
Hari Bol, Prabhu.
Continue. Please continue. Are you able to hear? Please continue.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, one does not need to be in the renounced order of life. He can remain in his present condition of life, but he must search out the association of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and hear from him the transcendental message of Lord with faith and conviction. That is the path of the Paramahamsa recommended here.
So am I audible, Anuj Guru?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are audible.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So following in the footsteps of Brahma, any person, either we are living in Pune or living in Bombay or in the India, Africa, whoever it may be, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, in terms of categories, or whoever they may be, either working in company or having business, or a man or woman or white, black, anyone. So any person, even up to this day, can attain same perfection by following the path of Paramahamsas as recommended herein. Of course, Prabhupada explains as Lord Chaitanya gave the process of the Sankirtan process, Bhakti Yoga. That is explained here. That's what Prabhupada mentions from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. We established this one. So for that, whether one has to have renounced order, no, Prabhupada explains. Only thing is we need to have proper association. The association of the devotees is the only element that starts from Shraddha till end of till the even in Prema also the sadhu sangha continues. If you see the Bhakti Lata creeper plant, there is a picture. Maybe tomorrow I can show. I don't know whether now I can search it out. But there is a good picture what different stages of our Bhakti Lata, where it's beautifully depicted that how the sadhu sangha is the one which continues till from starting from Shraddha till even up to the stages of prema, bhava and prema. Even prema also, definitely the sadhu sangha is definitely keep on continues. Machitta matkata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So even at the stage of prema also devotees come together, discuss about Krishna, discuss about the pastimes of the Lord. They keep on relishing. So that sadhu sangha is always there. It always has to be there. Okay, maybe tomorrow I'll show. So that's how sadhu sangha is the key element for process of bhakti, because by association of the devotees, as I discussed yesterday, our desires which are little bit weak or which are little bit may not be pure, they will become more and more strong. I can give some example which what I understood about association of the devotees. Let us suppose we are going in an Indian road, which are of course Indian roads. We know there little potholes are there, little always some speed breakers are there. Roads are not so good, and we are going in auto. So if you are going in auto, then it is a very tough road, very not so smooth road. There are a lot of disturbance, lot of ups and downs, and auto doesn't have a much suspension systems inside, right? Then you will have all kinds of massage to the body before reaching the destination. So, but consider going in a Volvo bus or very Mercedes Benz. Consider going in a Mercedes Benz. Like considering even the road is very rough, but still the more because the internal suspension system is so strong that you don't experience the external what to say disturbances or the different obstacles, different shortcomings of the road by the passenger. That's how the car is designed. That's how its cost also increases more and more if the sophistication increases more and more inside. So that's how we can also experience something in the association of some neophytes, those who are not so advanced internally, those who are not very much having sophisticated understanding or advancement, we may have some troubles, just like with auto. But the person we are sitting in a Mercedes means taking association of the advanced souls. Definitely we will have a wonderful experience. Though the road is same, though we are traveling on the road of material existence, forest of material existence, still we will be very safe, very comfortable, because we are with a personality who is very advanced inside, having a great absorption in Krishna, experience of Krishna. They can share with us. So if we are with them, so our journey becomes very smooth, very wonderful. So that's how we need to always, of course, it's maybe sometimes it's difficult to have a very advanced person to be with. But fortunately, we have wonderful association of great advanced devotees like Prabhupada in form of the books, lectures, and the Vani. Right now, I mean, anyone can access anyone in the world through internet. But of course, we don't recommend also to go through many other all the available speakers. But at the same time, if we feel that we don't have the access to the personalities we are very much inspired from, definitely we can have the Vani in terms of videos or audios. We can take definitely association, and the Prabhupada is always available in terms of his purports, which are like sophisticated systems. The more we are with him, the more smoother our journey will be. So that's how association of the devotees becomes a crucial factor for our advancement to become even Paramahamsa ourselves. So that's what Prabhupada is saying, that we must search out association of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and hear from him the transcendental message of the Lord with faith and conviction. That is the path of Paramahamsa recommended herein. So then we'll come to that stage of Paramahamsa, we ourselves. So then Prabhupada quotes how we should not unnecessarily endeavor with all other processes, wasting our time and energy. So he quotes Brahmaji Shloka, famous Shloka, Jnane Prayasamudavasanamanta eva jivanti sanmukritam bhavadiyavartam sthane stitigata shrutigatam tanuvan manobhir ye prayaso jito pyasitais trilokyam. So this is one of the famous verse, prayer of the Lord Brahma in 10th canto, 14th chapter. Maybe can someone read the translation?
O my Lord Krishna, a devotee who abandons the path of empiric philosophical speculation, aim at merging in the existence of Supreme Lord and engages himself in hearing your glories and activities from a bona fide sadhu or saint, and who lives in an honest life in the occupational engagement of his social life, can conquer you sympathy and mercy, even though you are Ajita or unconquerable.
Yeah, though a Lord is unconquerable, Ajita becomes Jita. Ajita Jitopyasi Taistilokyam. But the devotees who endeavor to please the Lord, to serve the Lord, so they hear from the Sthane Stita Shrutigatam Tanuvan Manobhir. So they keep on hearing and glorifying the Lord. So for them it's very easy, otherwise it's very difficult. That's the path is explained by Prabhupada, and Prabhupada himself is a Paramahamsa. So he gave us the path of Paramahamsa to follow and to become. Okay, continuing. Tam priyamanam samupastitam kavim praja visarge nitya shasanarhanam babhashayishat smitasochi sagira priyam pritamana kare sprishan. Is it?
And seeing Brahma present before him, the Lord accepted him as worthy to create living beings, to be controlled as he desired. And thus, being much satisfied with him, the Lord shook hands with Brahma and, slightly smiling, addressed him thus.
Yeah, after Lord revealed, then Brahma bowed down. After bowing down, Brahma got up. And then first thing, Lord shake hands. The first shake hand in the creation. Shake hands. So Lord shook hand. Lord took his hands. Kare sparshan. Pritamanaha. Lord is pleased by Brahma. And then he did kare sparshan. The emotions are expressed in physical activities, the loving feelings. Yeah. So that's how Lord reacted in the sense reciprocating the Brahmaji's tapasya. And then Prabhupada explains about what exactly Brahma's responsibility. Please read.
The Lord instructs Brahma in Vedic knowledge in order to diffuse this knowledge to the conditioned souls. The conditioned souls are forgetful of their relationship with the Lord, and thus a period of creation and the process of dissemination of Vedic knowledge are necessary activities of the Lord. Lord Brahma has a great responsibility in delivering the conditioned souls, and therefore he is very dear to the Lord.
So Brahmaji knows that I need to create. And so Lord is inspired from within Brahma. So he has a great responsibility to create the world. Of course, to give us a chance, all the living entities who are forgetful of the relationship. So it's not just a blind creation, but it's a very thoughtful creation and for a particular purpose. Continue this one.
Anyone, however, preaching the mission of the Lord in the line of Brahma Sampradaya is always dear to the Lord, and the Lord, being satisfied with such a preacher of the authorized bhakti cult, shake hands with him in great satisfaction.
So Prabhupada is saying about Brahma Sampradaya. He started his own party, is Brahma Sampradaya. And he himself took up responsibility to please the Lord by creating such a way that living entities will have a chance to return to Supreme Lord, return back home, back to Godhead. So same thing Prabhupada explained that though whoever is in the same line of Brahmaji, in the sense that those who are also always desiring to help others with this knowledge of Bhakti Yoga, sharing in terms of sharing in various levels, sharing the messages of Gita, or sharing the prasad, sharing the kirtans, sharing about spiritual life, information about spiritual life at different levels. We can keep on sharing with others whatever we know, whatever we have experienced. We need to share. Then Lord is more pleased. As in Gita also says that Krishna says those who are distributing these knowledges are most dear to me, are very dear to me. So Prabhupada is urging to share the same thing with many others. Okay, text on Tiba. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Vayaham Toshita Samyak Veda Garbha Sisrikshaya Chiram Brutena Tapasa Dustosah Kota Yogina. Is it?
The beautiful personality of Godhead addressed Lord Brahma, O Brahma, impregnated with the Vedas, I am very much pleased with your long accumulated penance with the desire for creation. Hardly am I pleased with the pseudo mystics.
Yeah. Please read, underline.
Lord is speaking to Brahma. I'm yeah.
Okay.
Ha. So Prabhuji, should I read everything?
Yeah, you can read the underline portion.
Yeah, underline. Okay. Penances like those undertaken to discover nuclear weapons will never satisfy the Lord. By nature's own way, everyone has to meet death. And if such a process of death is accelerated by anyone's penances, there is no satisfaction for the Lord. The Lord wants every one of his parts and parcels to attain eternal life and bliss by coming home to Godhead, and the whole material creation is meant for that objective. Brahma underwent severe penances for that purpose, namely to regulate the process of creation, so that the Lord might be satisfied. Therefore, the Lord was very much pleased with him, and for this, Brahma was impregnated with Vedic knowledge.
Yeah. So Lord is so pleased by Brahma's commitments and his austerities. He revealed his own abode, and but he himself is saying that I am not pleased with pseudo mystics who try to do some kind of gymnastics for their own selfish enjoyment. Of course, definitely, if they follow process, they may also get some results, Ashtanga Yoga results. but they will not achieve liberation, as we discussed also many times. So unless you practice bhakti, practicing bhakti means at least one should have some inclination to please the Lord, some desire to, some understanding that Supreme Lord is personality, is existing, and we need to respect Him. So that kind of understanding has to be there, even if they want to have their own results. But he's not at all pleased with pseudo mystics. Pseudo mystics, Prabhupada explains that there are many pseudo mystics who undergo severe penances for their own satisfaction, and there are others who undergo severe penances for the satisfaction of the senses of the Lord. These two are, we keep on hearing definitely for our own satisfaction, for the satisfaction of the senses of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. Definitely, bhakti is so subtle that sometimes, though we are trying to please the Lord, it's always the motivation may keep on varying from our own satisfaction to Krishna's satisfaction. So at different various levels, we keep on purifying ourselves. Even while process of bhakti, there are anadhas which are generating from bhakti process itself. Bhaktiyotta aparadhas, bhaktiyotta anardhas. So just like Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives an example of that plant also. He says, Nishiddhachara kutinate jiva himsan puja lava pratishtadi yayi upashaka gan. So these are all, there are many upashakas. When you receive the seed of bhakti, and when we are trying to water it, Mali hoya sei bija kare aropan, Shravana Kirtana jale karaya sinchan. By doing with Shravana and Kirtana, we are watering that seed that we received. But just by pouring water only, the weeds are growing up. So we need to be extremely careful and very discriminating between the weeds and the main plant of the creeper. They appear to be very much same many times. You might have seen also sometimes tomato plant and the weeds, they may also look same. What is the plant? What is the creeper? It's very quite difficult at the early stage. At the little more advanced stage, you may a little distinguish which can be there, the flowers or the fruits that come up. There can be some distinction, but early stages is quite difficult to. Sometimes it's difficult to discriminate what is the creeper and what is the plant. So we need to water the plant and not the creeper. Nishiddhachara kutinate jiva himsan puja lava pratishtadi yayi upashakagan. So we need to carefully remove the weeds slowly. Just like in field also, you might have experience that they keep on removing the weeds. We have to keep on removing the weeds. Even our land, in our garden, the rose garden that we have in our temple, there are so many rose plants are been planted. They are giving wonderful flowers. But the creepers also, the weeds, not the creepers, the weeds next to them will keep on growing. So they will keep on growing. We need to keep on removing them. They are generated by the water itself. So Bhaktiyotta Anarthas are like Pujala Pratishtha. When we become, when you are trying to become a devotee, we will have a little more advancement in terms of cleanliness, or practices, or austerities, or rules and regulations in various ways with different devotees. But that should not lead us to have these things, to enjoy these things, Pujala Pratishtha, profit, adoration, distinction. That should not happen. So that should not be happening. So we need to be a little bit careful about what is satisfying to me and what is satisfying to the Lord. So that's the very subtle point, the bhakti, their own satisfaction and satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. That we need to be a little bit careful. Then Lord will be more and more pleased as we are practicing bhakti and for the pleasure of the Lord. Everything for the pleasure of the Lord. In that way, we advance more and more. That's how Lord is pleased very much with Brahma. Then he will communicate more and more. He will reveal more and more now. Varam varaya bhadram te varesham abhivanchitam brahman shreyah parishramah punsam maddarshanavadihi. Is it?
I wish you good luck. O Brahma, you may ask from me, the giver of all benediction, all that you may desire. You may know that the ultimate benediction as the result of all penances is to see me by realization.
So here speaking to Brahma, so he is so much pleased that he asked some benediction. That's the nature of the Lord. Lord always wants to bestow Vardarshabha. He is the Lord of Lord who can give any benediction. Vardarshabha, Varesha, Vardaraj. He is a king. Raj, he is a Vardaraj. He is the king in giving the benedictions. Even in our Damodar Ashtam has that one. I think in one of the verses says about he is the topmost benediction he gives. Anyone remembers the fourth stanza? How it starts?
Varam Deva
Varam Deva Moksham na Moksha Vadimva Achanyam Vrineham Varesha Dapiha Varesha Varesha. He is the Supreme Lord in giving benedictions. Varesha Dapisha. So that's how the Supreme Lord is always inclined, because he is inclined not just partially, because of partiality is giving benedictions. No, definitely he has his partial. Samoham sarvabhuteshu ame dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. So, but those who always try to engage in my service, it's natural, no? It's not partiality. It's impartially partial. And suppose it's like just like Prabhupada opened in sense like he invited to Mayapur. He opened a FFL, Food for Life program, when he saw people children are fighting for food on the road. Then he said, okay, we should have Food for Life program. Around 10 kilometers, no one should go hungry. So when he opened, whoever comes, they will get prasad. So he is impartial in that sense. He opened such an open invitation for everyone. But who will get? Whoever comes, they will get. Right? That is impartially partial. So if the king says so, let anyone can come, I will give whatever they want. So one should not say that staying in my home, my own locker, my own home locked up, say that why king is not giving? Why he is so miser, he is not giving to me. No, king is impartial. He invited everyone. I just need to go there. That in one sense partiality, but it is always impartial, impartially partial. We are like teacher also, teacher and student. Teacher teaches for everyone. In a classroom, in schools, teacher teaches everyone. But if the student goes and asks some question, which is unable to understand, then teacher explains more in detail. That is not partiality. That is impartially partial. Anyone can go and ask. There is no any bar for that. So the ultimate realization of the Supreme Truth is knowing and seeing face to face the personality of Godhead. So here the ultimate perfection, as we also many times hear, that personality is the topmost. The personality of all the three, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. The personality is the topmost realization. That's what here Krishna himself is saying. Krishna himself is saying to Brahmaji, and we may ask any benediction, because I am very much pleased with you. So that's what he's saying. Text 21, text 22. Manishitaanubhavoyam mama lokavalokanam Yadupashrutyarahasi chakarda paramam tapaha. Please read.
The highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abode, and this has been possible because of your submissive attitude in the performance of severe penance according to my order.
So why he is giving the reason, such a benediction, such a mercy, because your submissive attitude in performance of severe penance, because that is the nature of the living entity. When he establishes himself in his original position, Lord is very much pleased. Just like children after growing 10, 15, at least after 12, 15 years, sometimes, many times, not sometimes, many times they become independent and they have their own way of thinking and acting. They are quite independent in their own thought and want to do on their own. Even parents suggest, it's become quite difficult to take up. But sometimes parents are worried because of that. But those who are very much submissive and very much obeying the parents, they are very much pleasing to the parents. Similarly here, Krishna is saying that because of your submissive attitude, I am very much pleased. That's what it's expressing. Please read the highlight portion.
The highest perfectional stage of life is to know the Lord by actual perfection, by the grace of the Lord. This can be attained by everyone who is willing to discharge the acts of devotional service to the Lord as enjoined in the revealed scriptures that are standard and are accepted by the bona fide acharya spiritual masters.
This can be attained by everyone who is willing to discharge the acts of devotional service to the Lord. The perfectional stage is possible for everyone. We should not unnecessarily demean ourselves. So the injustice and inferiority, these two emotions should not at all dominate our mind. Generally, these are always because of conditioned nature, because staying in this material world, these two emotions generally dominate the mind: injustice and inferiority. I am so low, I am so degraded, I am worth nothing, I can't do anything. Or injustice, this happened to me, that happened to me, how could happen? How could it happen like this? Why Lord allowed this? So this is very much injustice to me, to my position or to my cadre, whatever. So these two emotions quite sometimes, many times, can come up: injustice and inferiority. So we need to be a bit careful, especially in practicing devotional service. The comparison is the one thing which makes us more bringing up these emotions by comparing with others. Definitely we can compare, but to increase our devotional service, like Six Goswamis, Acharyas, and those who are advanced devotees, we are comparing and comparing in the sense that to improve ourselves. Oh, they are doing so wonderful. Let me also try to make a baby step, one more step. So in that comparison, that's good. That's inspiring to go ahead in spiritual life. But comparison negative way should not lead to negative emotions. Then it will unnecessarily will be spoiling our spiritual life. Here can be attained by everyone who is willing to discharge the acts of devotional service to Lord. Whatever capabilities, whatever abilities we have, we try to utilize in service of the Lord. That is our perfection. So those who are comparing, they will not be satisfied, and those who are satisfied persons will not compare. So in both ways, the comparing people will not be satisfied, and the satisfied people will not compare with others. So that's the one of the main important point we need to, because we are practicing from many years in devotional circles. That's the creepers keep on weeds keep on growing, comparing with others. either grihasthas, grihastha to grihasthas, grihastha to brahmacharis, brahmacharis to grihasthas, brahmacharis to sannyasis or advanced superiors. Society, there will always be compared because we are society. We are people together. Then there will be automatically different feelings come up. So we need to be a bit careful about especially these injustice and inferiority emotions. Yeah. Okay. So here, just like Supreme Lord saw that Brahma did tapasya and is satisfied by the tapasya. Brahma did tapasya and is satisfied and revealed his abode on himself. Similarly, the Supreme Lord with all the living entities, if they do devotional service according to Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and Acharyas, Lord will surely be satisfied and reveal himself. That is the main point Prabhupada brings out from this purport. So definitely Brahma did tapasya, great tapasya. By that he pleased the Lord, and Lord revealed himself. The same thing in our lives as well. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. Text 23. Pratyadishtam maya tatra tvai karma vimohite tapo me hridayam sakshat atmaham tapaso nagha. Is it?
O sinless Brahma, you may know from me that it was I who first ordered you to undergo penance when you are perplexed in your duty. Such penance is my heart and soul, and therefore penance and I are not different.
Is it the highlight version?
Yeah. The penance by which one can see the personality of Godhead face to face is to be understood as devotional service to the Lord, and nothing else, because only by discharging devotional service in transcendental love can one approach the Lord. Such penance is the internal potency of the Lord and is not different from Him.
So, continuing, Lord is speaking to Brahma. He is reassuring, reconfirming what he heard. Tapa, the glory of the penance. The words that he spoke is he only in the beginning. So, because by giving assurance, Brahma generally, when you reveal something secret, then you get confidence, right? The confidence level increases, which was what you were not understood previously. But when you understand, oh, it's Krishna, because of Krishna only it happened, because Krishna arranged like that, then it gives more and more faith to us. Even in devotional life also. Sometimes we may not understand why things are happening like this, in this particular way, in the particular events, particular people. We may not able to understand. But after passing some time, then things may be clear more how it is for good. Then by that experience, we will get, oh, that's good. That happened. Then our faith increases, our confidence increases in the process or in the people whom we are in touch with. The same Krishna is revealing here. Yes, Prabhuji.
So, Prabhuji, I'm just trying to understand. Penance, is it the same as Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti?
Actually, in terms of austerity and penance, there are two differences there. First, I will explain, and then I'll come to penance of sadhana bhakti. Tapasya and pachastap. These two terms are translated as austerity and penance in English generally. Tapasya and pachastap. So austerity is like a more voluntary is taken. Is a more voluntarily one takes up some kind of troubles to advance in spiritual life is called austerity. Penance is more when we do some mistake or some fault or some offense. Then you take up, that is also voluntary. You take up voluntarily or by the suggestion of superiors. To purify or to free oneself of offense is called penance generally. But Prabhupada uses these two words sometimes, many times interchangeably, penance and austerity. So that's why we see more of penance here than austerity. But the main thing is austerity is the more suitable term in terms of tapasya. When you say, when generally here also the Sanskrit text explains tapa. Tapa is always used. Tapasya, not prayaschitta. Not prayaschitta or paschatap is not used. But generally it is translated into penance. But in true sense, penance and austerity are little different, as I explained. Yeah, as you said that the penance here, yeah, what we do or sadhana bhakti is more of a penance or austerity, right? Chanting 16 rounds, great austerity. Yeah, for some people like me, but some it may be easy also. Those who cross the stage of coming to the stage of Nishtha or just trying to cross the Nishtha stage, for them it's not at all. The whole sadhana bhakti becomes more and more sweet and easy. The troubles will be, it will be more troublesome, more and more difficulty we experience because of our anardhas. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So that's why we keep on hearing doing sadhana bhakti is an austerity, but by doing that nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu, all these abhadras will be destroyed. Yes, the sadhana bhakti is itself considered like a kind of a little
So,
more.
Prabhuji, this is, I was thinking, quite encouraging, because it says such penance is the internal potency of the Lord, and it
Yeah,
is non-different from Him. So it is like,
correct. Yeah, the sadhana bhakti. What is sadhana bhakti? The sadhana, the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam is the internal potency of the Lord. It's the Chit-Shakti. It's this is the Chit-Shakti of the Lord only, as explained by Acharyas and even with Bhakti scriptures. Six Goswami is explaining in their literature that the all Navavida Bhakti is the part of Chit-Shakti only, internal potency only. But because we are unable to experience the sweetness because of our ignorance, Syat Krishna Nama Charita Sita Apta Vidya Pittopatapta Rasanasya Narochikan. Because of that, we it's always we feel difficulty and we feel tastelessness or sour. As Prabhupada gives example, I think here also and previously also he gives example of mango, ripened mango and unripened mango. The mango only. Suppose it's the process is same, but the experience is different. Yes. Sadhana bhakti, the penance, its penance is internal potency of the Lord, non-different. Correct. The whole penance here, bhakti yoga, is the internal potency of the Lord. Is it okay?
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So yeah, the whole process of bhakti is the internal potency of the Lord. So by doing that, gradually we become the same process as we always hear. The process is same when we do sadhana bhakti and we come to siddha bhakti or prema bhakti. The elements remain same. There is no any kind of rejection of particular elements in sadhana after achieving a particular stage. No, the things will remain same. Please read this one. Underline portion. Hare Krishna.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that if someone sincerely wants to see the Lord, at the same time wants to enjoy this material world, he is considered to be a fool only. One who wants to remain here in the material world for material enjoyment has no business entering into the eternal kingdom of God. The Lord favors such foolish devotee by snatching all that he may possess in the material world. If such a foolish devotee of the Lord tries to recoup with his position, then the merciful Lord again snatches away all that he may have possessed. By such repeated failures in material prosperity, he becomes very unpopular with his family members and friends. In the material world, the family members and friends honor persons who are very successful in accumulating wealth by any means. The foolish devotee of the Lord is thus put into possible penance by the grace of the Lord, and at the end, the devotee becomes perfectly happy, being engaged in the service of the Lord. Therefore, penance in devotional service of the Lord, either by voluntary submission or by being forced by the Lord, is necessary for attaining perfection and thus such penance is the internal potency of the Lord.
So here, therefore, the penance in devotional service of the Lord, either by voluntary submission or by being forced by the Lord, is necessary for attaining perfection. Thus, such penance is internal potency of the Lord. So yeah, whether sometimes it is difficult, sometimes it may be quite tasteless. The process itself, austere or some kind of trouble to the mind, but we continue ahead without listening to the mind. So the mind intelligence has to, we keep on distancing ourselves from the mind. So the mind becomes always the critical factor in practicing devotional service. So by strengthening our intelligence day by day, by reading, by hearing, by understanding, by contemplating, so we strengthen our intelligence. We strengthen the driver. So the driver is strong. Automatically he will control the car or the horses, whatever. So by that we go ahead. Text 24. Shrujami tapasaivedam grasami tapasa punaha vibhrami tapasa vishwam viryam me duscharam tapaha. Is it?
I create this cosmos by such finance. I maintain it by the same energy, and I withdraw it by the same energy. Therefore, the potent power is penance on me.
So Krishna is very much glorifying the penance. I am the penance itself, and I create the cosmos by such penance. I maintain and withdraw it by the same penance. So the glory of austerity, Lord is speaking to Brahmaji. Please read. Beautiful purport.
In executing penance, one must be determined to return home back toward it, and must decide to undergo all types of tribulations for that aid. Even for material prosperity, name and fame, one has to undergo severe types of penance. Otherwise, no one can become an important figure in this material world. Why then would there not be severe types of penance for the perfection of devotional service? An easygoing life and attainment of perfection in transcendental realization cannot go together. The Lord is more clever than any living entity. Therefore, he wants to see how painstaking the devotee is in devotional service. The order is received from the Lord either directly or through the bona fide spiritual master. And to execute that order, however painstaking, is the severe type of penance. One who follows the rigidity is sure to achieve success in attaining the Lord's mercy.
One who follows the principle rigidly is sure to achieve success in attaining the Lord's mercy. An easygoing life and attainment of perfection in transcendental realization cannot go together. Or Prabhupada sometimes he says, go ill together. So yeah, that's a beautiful purport and very much coming from his experience, not just his writing for a poetry's sake or for sake of impressing others. So Prabhupada, he is writing second canto, 9th chapter is almost maybe in 1970s, almost 1969, 70. So that time Prabhupada he was undergoing many difficulties. After he just established the institute in 68, of course he established 66, but things were a little more troublesome in the early part of the institution. But Prabhupada took so much of austerity and penance, austerities and troubles to make our lives very easy for you and me. We are just sitting and reading and enjoying spiritual life. All because there is a lot of foundation laid down by, especially by Prabhupada, and afterwards many acharyas did their contribution a lot. But still, even in our life, if you want to achieve success or perfection, we also need to take some sacrifices. So some sacrifices, some troubles. As Prabhupada here mentioning, people are working for nothing. People are working for nothing in the sense people are working for sake of money or some fame and name. They are working day and night and month after month, years after years, whole life slogging just to gain some pennies, some few rupees, which anyway we lose at the end of life. Anyway we have to give up. There is no taking ahead of all of them. For that they are struggling hard so much. And why can't we? Why should not we endeavors? We put our effort and endeavors and energy in advancing in spiritual life. So that's how we need to we need to take up some, at least some kind of course we should not be in panic zone. We always hear both three zones where complacent zone and stress zone and panic zone. The panic zone is generally avoided, should be avoided, definitely. Sometimes it may be needed, some emergencies in terms of our life will come definitely. That time it's okay. But otherwise we should always be in like stretch zone, like we have some things to achieve, we have some things to do, or we should not go into the at least complacency zone where we are just easygoing life, as Prabhupada mentioning. Means that we are not taking up any kind of austerity, any kind of stretching ourselves, extending ourselves. So that's the then it becomes quite a complacent zone where we cannot we will not be enthusiastic. Then the whole process may go down little by little. That's inevitable if we lose the ground. So why should we lose the chance? So Prabhupada is very much bringing out in this purport. Okay, till now Lord revealed his dham, and he, by his great satisfaction, he shook his hands and he asked Brahma to ask some benediction, and he expressed also he reconfirmed about his austerities, that they are very much auspicious. Even I do penance, austerities for the sake of creation. So please ask some benediction. So then Brahmaji asked now the questions. These are the famous questions asked by Brahma, which will become the answers will become the Chatushlokya of Bhagavatam. And of course, Brahmaji asks here questions about how to create and how while creating, what is the attitudes, how I should not become proud, etc. He will ask these questions in those terms. Okay, let us see. Brahma Uvacha Bhagavan Sarva Bhutana Adhyaksho Vastito Guham Vedahi Apratiruddhena Pragnanena Chikishitam. Please read.
Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever.
Please read.
Purport. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the witness, and as such, he is the supreme director of sanction. The director is not the enjoyer of the fruits of action, for without the Lord's sanction, no one can enjoy. For example, in a prohibited area, a habituated drunkard puts forward his application to the director of drinking, and the director, considering his case, sanctions only a certain amount of liquor for drinking. Similarly, the whole material world is full of many drunkards, in the sense that each and every one of the living entities has something in his mind to enjoy, and everyone desires the fulfillment of his desires very strongly. The Almighty Lord, being very kind to the living entity, as the Father is kind to the Son, fulfills the living entity's desires for his childish satisfaction. With such desires in mind, the living entity does not actually enjoy, but he serves the bodily whims unnecessarily without profit. The drunkard does not derive any profit out of drinking, but because he has become a servant of the drinking habit and does not wish to get out of it, the merciful Lord gives him all the facilities to fulfill such desires.
So here Brahmaji is asking, Brahmaji is saying that, dear Lord, you know everything. What is in my heart, how, because you know you are the omniscient personality. So you know everything without, because your everything is happening under your superintelligence. You are well aware, of all the endeavors by your superintelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. So Brahmaji is just acknowledging and expressing his heart that you know everything, my dear Lord, but still I will ask you. That's how it continues. He continues. But Prabhupada very he is highlighting the point that here how he is the knower of everything in the heart, because as Brahmaji himself expressed that you know everything. So similarly, Prabhupada took up that principle and is explaining more elaborately how the living entity wants to enjoy and Lord created by His grace, by His mercy, just like Father allows a child sometimes to his son, just like childish satisfaction. Childish satisfaction that we desired. So Lord is allowing. Prabhupada brought out the beautiful example of drinking drunkards. We are all drunkards, full of many drunkards in the material world. The whole material world is full of many drunkards. In the sense that each and every one of the living entity has something in his mind to enjoy. So for that purpose, Lord created this world to enjoy, or to have the satisfaction of being that I am the enjoyer, rather like that. So when we are frustrated, or when we come to our senses to understand that I cannot enjoy here anymore, or I can enjoy only in the association of the Lord, that is the better understanding. I can definitely, because we are living entities, we need the soul inherently is always longing for happiness. So I can enjoy only in the association of the Lord, not anywhere else. So by that understanding only, he will be fully satisfied to realize that Lord mercifully created this world. So that Brahmaji now he will ask in the terms. Tathapi natha manasya natha nathaya natitham paravare yatha rupe jnani yam te tvarupinaha. Please read.
In spite of that, my Lord, I am praying to you to kindly fulfill my desire. May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you have no such form at all.
So, dear Lord, you know everything. What is past, present, future, what is everyone's heart. Because Lord is sitting in the heart, you know everything. But still, I am praying to you, please answer my questions. Please inform me. So, first question, this is the first question of Brahmaji, and which is the first answer will be for about in the Chatushloki it comes. So the question is about, inform me about the spiritual and mundane forms. What forms do you have? Do you have here he is saying, do you have a spiritual form? How you take material form? How make you this world? So that is the main meaning. Please inform me about your spiritual and mundane forms. This is the first question of Brahmaji. 27. Athatmaya yogena nana shakyupabhrumhitam vilumpan visrujan grannan vibrad atmanam atmana. Please read.
And please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation.
So this is the second question. How you please inform me also about your different energies, not only your forms of spiritual forms and material forms, also how these energies are acting All the energies are different energies you manifest. Oh, it went into saving mode. Okay, so here Brahmaji asked the first question, and the second question asked about manifestations of different energies. The whole manifestation is the Lord Himself by diffusion of His different energies only, namely the internal, external, and marginal, just as sunlight is the manifestation of energy of the sun planet. So everything is a manifestation of Krishna only, just like sun. Sun has different energies, light and heat. Similarly, Lord has multifarious energies. Parasha Shakti Vividhaiva Shriyate Swabhaviki Gnana Bala Kriyacha. So though he doesn't have anything to do at all as Krishna himself, but still he carries out with his different energies, only for the sake of living entities. So that's how Brahmaji is inquiring his questions about his energies. He is asking second question. Prabhupada explains in terms of the example of sun given by Acharyas. Prabhupada always explains it, this example of sun. Might have many times heard also. The sun itself has different energies. It has heat and light. It gives both heat and light. The sun rays. This is one thing having energies of the sun, and sun having different expressions. It expresses by itself in three phases. Sun as a sun itself, sunshine, and sun rays. So these three, Prabhupada explains how they are non-different at the same time. They are different. Sun rays are compared to all the living entities. Sunshine is explained in terms of the Brahman, the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. So that's how it's explained. And sun is himself is Lord himself. So the second question asked that about his energies, or how the different energies manifest. Third one, 28. Pidasi amoga sankalpa purnabhir yathornute tatha tat vishayam dehi manisham mai madhava. Is it?
Prabhuji, I'll read.
Yeah, please.
Oh, Master of... Okay, Mataji, please read.
O master of all energies, please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers itself with its own energy, and your determination is infallible.
So here Brahma is asking the third question. How so you manifest yourself as you manifest different energies, and you are playing with those energies. How you carry out all your pastimes in those relation to the energies? Please explain. Playing in the sense of how you create, how you yourself manifest in spiritual forms, and do different pastimes. So that's how he's asking how you act with your different energies. Not only how you manifest different energies, also how you act with them. That is the third question. So please read. 1 minute.
By the inconceivable energy of the Lord, every creative element has its own potency, known as potency of the element, potency of knowledge, and potency of different actions and reactions. The exact example is the spider and spider web. The web is created by the spider and it is maintained by the spider, and as soon as the spider likes, the whole thing is wound up within the spider. The spider is covered within the web. If an insignificant spider is so powerful as to act according to its will, why can't the Supreme Being act by his supreme will in the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the cosmic manifestations? By the grace of the Lord, a devotee like Brahma or one in his chain of disciplic succession can understand how the Almighty Personality of Godhead eternally engages in his transcendental pastimes in the regions of different energies.
So Prabhupada gives, of course, even actually Brahmaji only gives the example. Urnanabhi. Urnanabhi means the spider. Urnanabhi is a spider which salivates its own saliva and creates. Urnute covers. So it's a Lord is glorified in this way. Glorified in the sense how he act by his act. Inconceivable act is explained by Urnanabhi. Even Kardamani also gives the same example. Yeah, Lord, you create just like a spider creates the whole web. And the amazing thing is the spider is not caught up in the web. Right? You definitely experience that the spider is not caught in the web. All other things will be caught up in the web. But the spider creates and maintains it, and it can wind up also the web. And it is not at all caught up in the web. So similarly also, Lord creates everything from his own energies, and he just like spider plays in the web, and Lord also plays with it with the different energies, and he also has the capacity to wind up. But here the clear distinction is that the spider creates for its own enjoyment, right? Spider generally tries to catch the prey for different prey to catch and eat for himself. But Supreme Lord creates not for exclusively for his own enjoyment. Definitely, he also takes part not in the material energy, but he comes here and displays his pastimes for the sake of living entities to attract, just to give a chance to the living entities to. Otherwise, he is happy in the spiritual world. Tripada Vibhuti, what is expressed previously in these verses, Ekapada Vibhuti and Tripada Vibhutis, the Vaikuntha planets, where Prabhupada explained also. This whole spiritual world is Tripada Vibhuti. Is the Supreme Lord simply enjoying there, but only for ourselves and for our own deliverance and for our own liberation. Krishna manifests wonderful pastimes here to attract all of us. So that is the main difference between Varunabhi example and Lord himself. But yeah, that's how Lord creates everything and maintains and winds up just like the spider. That's what Prabhupada is explaining more the example of the spider. So by the grace of the Lord, a devotee like Brahma or one in his chain of disciplic succession can understand how the Almighty Personality Godhead eternally engages in his transcendental pastimes in the region of different energies. So just like Brahma or any bona fide devotee understands those pastimes. So they are asked to reveal to the living entities. 29. Bhagavad Chikshitam Maham Karavanihi Anadritaha Nehamana Prajasargam Badhyayam Yatanugrahat. Is it? Hare Krishna.
Please tell me so that I may be taught in the matter by the instruction of the personality of Godhead, and may thus act instrumentally to generate living entities without being conditioned by such activities.
Badhyayam Yatanugrahat. So let me not be conditioned without being conditioned by such activities. I want to be an instrument in your service. So please guide me. So that is the fourth question. Please guide me to carry out service without pride and bondage. So while doing the activities, we'll be caught up in the sense of aham and mama. That is the major conditioning to ourselves. So Brahmaji himself is praying, my dear Lord, while rendering service, let me not be caught up in the pride and become bound here in the material world. Please read this one.
Brahmaji does not want to become a speculator, depend on the strength of his personal knowledge and conditioned to material bondage. Everyone should know in clear consciousness that one is in the execution of all activities an instrument.
So here Prabhupada gives the differences between conditioned soul and liberated soul. How conditioned soul is instrumental in the hands of external energy, Gunamayi Maya, but liberated living entity, in the sense that those who are practicing Bhakti Yoga, they are supposed to be instruments in the will of the Lord. They are naturally directed by the will of the Lord, but people who are conditioned living entities are instruments in the illusory energy of the Lord. That's why Prabhupada explains. Conditioned in the sense by having their own pride and their own arrogance. We are the karta, aham mameti. That kartrutra bhava is always dominant in the conditioned stage. So Brahma wanted to be saved from the pitfall of pride, although he was posted in the most exalted position within the universe. So yeah, these are the bhaktyotta anardhas. So we may become attached to our own post position and other things. So we need to be careful. Okay, I think we'll just read this verse and we'll pause. It's the last question. Last question is part of this last question. Yavat saka sakyuriveshate kritaha. Yavat saka sakyuriveshate kritaha. Praja visarge vibhajami bhojanam. Aviklavaste parikarmani stito. Mame samunnadhamado jaramaninaha. Is it?
My Lord, the unborn, you have shaken hands with me just as a friend does with a friend, as if equal in position. I shall be engaged in the creation of different types of living entities, and I shall be occupied in your service. I have no perturbation, but I pray that all this may not give rise to pride as if I were the supreme.
So here, same question in a different part. So I want to engage in your activities of creation of different types of living. Creation of living entities doesn't mean that here creation of different types of living entities is written, but it's not created. Living entities never created. Only the bodies are created, right? Bodies are the facilities are given for the living entities. In that sense, it is mentioned like that. Because living entities are always eternal. Sanatan, Amai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Sanatan. So they are eternal. So there is no kind of creation, but the bodies are created under the guidance of Supreme Lord by Brahmaji. But let me not become proud while doing service. That's the main prayer by Brahmaji himself. So we should learn how we need to be careful that he is a most exalted personality who is in Sakirasa, as Prabhupada explains here, because he's shaken hands. You have shaken hands with me means that he's a friend. Friends generally shake hands, right? That's how Prabhupada mentions here. He is Brahmaji is situated in a humor of friendship, Sakiras. But still he is expressing his humility in terms of let me not become proud. Because by the empowerment of the Lord, we may do much more greater thing than the Lord himself. Some devotees, especially here Prabhupada gives example of Hanuman. Hanuman did greater service in the sense that he built the bridge itself. He crossed the ocean directly without a bridge. So, but it's all by mercy of the Lord. So that's what Prabhupada explains that, but we should not become proud. Though sometimes a devotee made us greater service than the Lord himself. A devotee, a disciple made us greater service than the spiritual master also. Prabhupada himself explained that though Prabhupada expanded the mission so much than the previous acharyas, but he never said, I am greater than the any acharya. No, that's not the mood of the disciple. It's not the mercy of the spiritual master. Even Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada also mentioned that I am just like a I am just like a motor. I am just like a boat, but it is driven by the motor sitting at the back of the boat. So the motor is compared to my spiritual master, Srila Krishna Swami Maharaj. That's what he mentions. Though he's sitting at one place, but he is the force behind me. He is driving me. So that's what the main import of the here. He is explaining that I should not become proud. Let me always be an instrument. Even though Lord Brahma is the first dominating deity in the material world and thus able to do many wonderful things because he's a pure devotee, he would never, like the non-devotee with a poor fund of knowledge, have the audacity to think of becoming one with the Lord. People with a poor fund of knowledge should take lessons from Brahma when they are puffed up with the false notion of becoming God. So yeah, that's what explains. Devotees of the Lord are engaged in specific duty offered by the Lord, and such duties are successfully carried out without hindrance because they are ordained by the Lord. The credit for success goes not to the doer, but to the Lord. But persons with a poor fund of knowledge take credit for success into their own accounts and give nothing to the account of the Lord. That is the symptom of the non-devotee class of men. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much. So we pause here for today and for this week. And next week we'll start with the famous Chaturshloki Srimad Bhagavatam. So Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Have
Hare
exam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have class only on Saturday.
Vanchakalparvesya kripa sindhubhyev cha
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Which is Sunday we will have exam. So we'll have class only on Saturday.
Next Sunday?
But the next Sunday, Unit 8 exam, the previous unit.
Oh, previous Sunday. No problem. Okay. Basically, Saturday we have one class to 30 for 30. Okay. Sure. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sundar. Proud.